It's always some idiot teens who unwittingly unleash evil. Which I don't know why the hell these teenagers weren't just doing drugs like normal teenagers. Like, I don't know why they playing with ghosts, but that's neither here nor there. And I kept thinking as I was watching, these ghosts ain't finna just keep letting y'all play with them. Like, something is going to happen. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be reviewing the new horror movie, Talk to Me. Now, I had a very interesting start to my experience with this movie because y'all know I don't really like to watch previews. I went into this movie blind. I did not see a preview for Talk to Me. Typically, my process is I just look at upcoming movies. Sometimes I read the synopsis. Sometimes I just see the genre. I don't even read the synopsis. I feel like this day and age, you have a much better experience with movies, or at least I do, if I just go in blind. I don't want to know what to expect. I don't want to know anything. They typically give away big moments, key scenes, pretty much give you the whole dang plot in the preview, child. So I just feel like it's a much better experience when I do not see previews. And one of my biggest annoyances and gripes with going to the movie theater is they show you like 45 minutes worth of previews before the movie starts. So I typically try to get to the movie a little late, but even when I'm like 20 minutes late, it's still previews. Okay, now y'all, I went a little too far this time, and I got to the movie so late, the movie had already started. So I did catch the opening sequence of Talk to Me, but I did miss some of the beginning, and I'm not sure how much of it I missed. But I doubt it like changes my whole view of the movie. It had to only been like, I don't know, maybe not even 5 minutes that I missed of this movie. Now, Talk to Me is one of those movies where, honestly, I'm like, I don't even really know. I know how I feel about it, but I'm wondering if this is one of those movies where I'll like it more on rewatch, or if it's just not for me. Because sometimes I can watch a movie and I'm like, yeah, I'm not too thrilled with this, which is how I walked away from Talk to Me. But then, like, some time passes, maybe a year or two, maybe 6 months, and I watch the movie, and I'm like, why didn't I like this? I love this movie. Or maybe not love, but, like, I enjoyed it more than my first watch. But, yeah, y'all, I gotta say, I was not very impressed with Talk to Me in the slightest. And typically, I don't like to, like, see other reviews before I give mine, because I just don't want other thoughts or opinions. But I was just so anxious to know what other people felt about this movie. I'm like, child, I gotta see some reviews on this. Y'all, why are people talking about like how scary and disturbing this movie is? And I'm just like, okay, nah. I know and have known since I was like a kid that I am not the typical audience. I have been watching horror movies literally since I was a toddler. And I mean like watching, fully engaged, like watching horror movies in general. I was not the biggest fan of cartoons and kid movies. Like, I had my few that I love, but I was more so just like a hardcore movie buff from literally a toddler child. So I'm that moviegoer where I've been such a fan of horror for so long. Nothing scares or disturbs me most of the time. Now, some ish be disturbing, not child, but I mean most of the time. And I have been on, or I was on a quest most of my life to finally find a horror movie that scares me. No horror movie has ever scared me. Like, you know how people say they have nightmares or they can't get, you know, certain images out of their head. No, that's not me. I'm that person who can like watch a horror movie and go to sleep and sleep like a baby. And I ain't gonna have no kind of dream. I'm not gonna be having like visions and you know, seeing images from the movie. I don't know, it's just not me. But I've given up on the that used to be my little thrill of like, oh, you know, I'm finally find a movie that scares me. That was my thing when it came to horror, and why I loved it so much was the excitement of trying to find something to scare me. But I just live with the fact that no movie will ever scare me. Like, I feel like at this age, at 36, and I've been watching horror since I was like 2 or 3, I can safely proclaim no movie will ever scare me. But horror is my favorite genre, and I definitely love horror movies. And I can definitely get a lot of other emotions from horror. I just don't get scared. But y'all, I was like, wait, people, what? Like, I'm literally clueless because I can objectively see movies and be like, okay, certain images I can consider scary, or I can consider this movie scary because objectively, like, it may not be scary to me, but I'm literally like, what scared anybody about this movie? What was disturbing to anybody about this movie? Like, I'm just like, damn, am I really that desensitized or something? But you know what? I don't think it was me. Because I saw this movie with my mama, and she is that person who she can't take a lot. She can't stomach a lot. She was upset that I took her to see this movie. She was upset I took her to see Cobweb. She don't want to see no horror movies. Like, she likes a scary story, but she doesn't like gore and anything disturbing or really scary. But she was like, yeah, nothing was scary. Like, and I'm like, okay, so it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me because I'm a psychotic, mind warped horror fan. Like, no, the movie wasn't giving, like, scary or disturbing in the slightest for me. But there were some positives to the movie. Talk to Me pretty much was giving me, I guess you could say, Flatliners vibes when it comes to the whole, okay, so the setup of the movie is, and that's something else, it really wasn't anything we haven't seen before. I will say they managed to throw in some unique aspects. But, I mean, there's always a young group of friends who discover, something, some item. They fool around with it, fool with powers beyond their understanding. It's always some idiot teens who unwittingly unleash evil. Been there, done that. We have seen that. But I will say I like the spin on the fact that they pretty much take possession and turn it into some type of euphoric drug-like thing, because basically the premise of Talk to Me is you have this group of teen friends, a bunch of idiots, which teens are always idiots in movies, and y'all know that irks me. They come across this supposedly embalmed hand that was the hand of a medium. And there's this whole ritual where you light a candle and you hold the hand and you say, talk to me, and you can see a spirit or a ghost. And then you say, like, inhabit me, and then it possesses you, right? Now, look, one of my biggest issues with this movie, it's really one of my biggest issues with any movie or TV show that involves teenagers. And y'all know, typically, I don't watch nothing with teenagers. I thoroughly feel like writers do not know how to write teenagers. They can only always give them the same traits. Literally, you have the same, like, 4 to 5 type of teenage characters that every single movie with a teenager just recycles. And the only one we didn't have in this one is the bully teen. But look, are teenagers stupid? Yeah. I mean, they just are. I mean, you ain't been in the world that long. I was an idiot when I was a teenager. You're going to be an idiot. Baby, ain't nobody this big of an idiot. I mean, they're just not. They're just not. And I don't buy that every single solitary person in the friend group just was okay with playing around with these spirits. Because I can tell you like this. None of me and my friends would have been playing with no spirits. We ain't playing with no spirits. Point blank, period. I wouldn't even been at the party. I wouldn't have been on the block. I wouldn't have been in the vicinity. And it's not even just my singular experience. None of the teenagers that I hung around, none of us would have been playing with no spirits. And I don't buy that every single solitary person in the friend group was involved in this. Like, for real? Okay. But anyway, so the movie starts off with, we have, at least where I walked in on the movie, because like I said, I missed maybe, I want to say it wasn't even 2 minutes, but some teenagers are at a party, and you have one guy, I think, going through the house looking for his brother or something, and something was happening in the room. And basically, the opening sequence is this kid in the middle of the party stabs his brother and then stabs himself in the head. Okay, that's the opening sequence. Was definitely glad I ain't missed that. Because, give me my kills. Give me my death scenes. So, that's something else that I was just like, no one's this neglectful and idiotic. So, one of the characters in the movie, the main character that we follow, let me pull up my list of characters, because y'all know I am not good with names, child. So, the main character that we follow is Mia. And she has a best friend, Jade, who has a little brother, Riley. And our little backstory on Mia is her mother passed away recently, within a few years or something like that. She just lives with her dad, who she is very disconnected from. Don't ever answer the man phone calls. Holler, don't talk to him. And the situation surrounding her mother's death is kind of odd. So the mother accidentally overdosed on sleeping pills, but was locked in a bedroom. Like, I don't know how you get locked in a bedroom. I don't know why you can't just turn the knob and open the door. But the mother was locked in the bedroom, scratching and clawing at the door, trying to get out. But then the dad ends up later in the movie confessing that he's been hiding the fact that the mom left a suicide letter and she did not accidentally overdose on sleeping pills, which that don't even sound logical. I mean, I guess anything is possible, but it don't sound logical to me that you would accidentally overdose on sleeping pills. And that's something else that we have in the movie that's very typical. The evil ghost pretending to be your loved one trick. I mean, come on. But, so the whole situation is Mia, they have this group. Oh, and I got sidetracked from my thought about them being idiots and negligent. So the people that got the hand in this friend group were these two characters. You know what? I ain't even finna look up their name. I don't think it's important. We have these two characters that are a part of the friend group, which one of them was on my nerve. Not the guy, but the girl. She was kind of on my nerve because she had like an attitude with the Jade girl. Like, she ain't like her, and I think she ain't like Mia either. But it wasn't even really whatever. Like, I guess it wasn't really established. It just felt like she just didn't like him or just had an attitude, and it was like kind of annoying because she goes to Jade's house and Jade is like, you can't smoke in here, and she literally just tosses the cigarette. Like, that was, I didn't understand that. But, and the character was like masculine presenting, so I don't know if they're non-binary, but so it was that person and this guy. They are the ones in possession of the hand, and they throw these parties and they record it and put it online, and Mia sees this and is intrigued and wants to go to the party to be a part of this. I ain't even gonna say why, because Mia was disturbed. Mia had some issues, and I was like, babe, you need to get yourself together as far as not wanting to be alone, because that not wanting to be alone was dragging her ass down to hell. I mean, it just was. But the other situation, the only situation that was really giving me real life teenager was the fact that Jade has a boyfriend who like held hands with Mia when they was kids, and that was like a little contentious like little thing with them. That was the only realistic teenage thing in the movie for me, child. Now I actually had a situation like that with my god sister when we was growing up. But so oh yeah, I keep getting sidetracked, y'all. So the neglect idiot part was the two people that are in possession of this hand jump to later in the movie when Mia confessed to everybody, hey, is anybody seeing things when you not holding the hand? Because I've been seeing things. Oh yeah, you know that happened to the last dude that had the hand. Come to find out, yeah, the dude we got the hand from, his brother, they used to be playing with the hand, and he stabbed his brother and killed himself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? That is literally a traumatic, psychotic event connected to another group of kids playing around with this thing. And you think it's a bright idea for you and your group of friends to play around with this thing? Come on now, child. I would slap fire out of him. Like, why would you even let us roll into this knowing that information? Come on now, as I always advocate for, teenagers ain't this dumb. Like, they're just not. Like, oh yeah, that happened to the last guy. Like, are you kidding me? Now, something that I will give this movie is, well, it is a lot going for this movie. Like I said, I do like them trying to do something different with the, possession, ghost subgenre. And it was definitely very well directed. I liked how everything was shot. I liked how everything looked. The ghosts were superb. I love the makeup with the little ghosts and entities, and the makeup and how they did everything when the kid Riley gets hurt. All that look like everything visually was really good. And what was I finna say? I lost my train of thought. I was giving them a compliment. Hey y'all, I'm so sorry. This movie is very forgettable because I literally just had to pause filming because I lost my train of thought. Like, what the hell compliment was I about to give them? Because I thought of something in the movie and then I spaced and could not remember. Y'all, I just saw this movie yesterday and I did not feel like filming today, but I was like, I need to hurry up and talk about this movie because I'm going to damn hell forget everything that happened. The compliment I was going to give was the ambiguity in the movie, the mystery surrounding the hand and different parts of the movie. Now, I'm that audience person. I'm that moviegoer. I don't like leaving stuff to audience interpretation. Like, you don't have to spell everything out for me, but you need to leave me breadcrumbs. It needs to be something where the movie is answering, right? And especially when it comes to stuff like this hand, I'm typically that movie goer. Tell me where the hand came from, how they give me everything surrounding this. What I did like with this one is I actually felt like the mystery and ambiguity was actually done well and helped the story. It didn't hurt the story. Because usually I'm like, look, y'all the ones getting paid millions by Hollywood. Y'all must be entertaining me and telling me a story. Don't ask me to use my brain cells to fill in gaps. But I actually liked how they did that with this movie. When it comes to the hand, we only get a few lines even trying to explain where the hand comes from, but we really don't know. It's like they're end up when I think it was Mia who said, where did you guys even get this hand from? And the guy who was like a jock type guy who was one of the people with the hand, he goes to say, oh, it's an embalmed hand. Oh, it's not embalmed. Yes, it is. It's just covered in something. The hand belonged to a psychic. No, it belonged to a medium, and they chopped the hand off. But really, we don't really know where this hand comes from. And there's a whole ritual around using the hand. You have to light a candle. You have to say the words, talk to me. You have to say you can inhabit. How do we even know to say those things? You know what I mean? How do we even know and we're told that you light the candle to open the doorway. You blow out the candle to close the doorway. How do we even have the information? How do we even know any of that information in the slightest? But I like how it plays in with this movie. It gives it something that I feel like works for it. Also, I feel like I want to say, no, we do know how. I was finna say we kind of don't even know how the mom died. We do know how the mom died because the dad brought out that suicide letter. But when we get to, oh no, it's not the mom, it's the dad. So we end up having Mia attack her dad because the whole ghost pretends to be her mom, which should have known. She was so easily susceptible. And I really want to say Mia came off more as willfully ignorant and less sympathetic. She wasn't a very sympathetic character for me. I mean, I'm just be real. But the dad gets stabbed in the neck with some scissors, and I think he lived. And then at the end of the movie, when Mia tries to kill Riley, I think Jade pushes Mia to save her brother, or either Mia jumped into traffic on her own. I don't know. It's not really clear cut. But I like how they did it. Now, something else I don't like about this movie, the characters. And this isn't even how I just never liked teenagers. Because none of these teenagers are those insufferable, obnoxious to the max teenage characters that you just are just completely unpleasant. They're not. But no one's likable. There is literally not one person that I was like, I like this person. I'm invested in this character. I don't want nothing to happen to them. When I tell y'all, I didn't care. I didn't care about nobody. I didn't care about anything. I was not invested or very engaged. I was just kind of there. I was just along for the ride. Like, I really didn't care, yay or nay. I didn't care how the movie ended. I didn't care what happened to none of these kids. I honestly didn't. Jay's mom, I guess that's the most you could say I like somebody, but I can't really say like, but she was the person I guess I enjoyed the most, but she could have died for all I can. Like, it was nobody that, you know how you watch a horror movie or a thriller or something or movie and you're just like invested. You don't want nothing to happen to a character. You're invested with where they're going to go. I didn't care. Everybody could have died. Like, I'll be there. I'll be there serious. Everybody could have died and I really wouldn't have cared. But okay, let's get to the movie. So the movie starts off where the kid is at the party, stabs his brother, stabs himself, and then we see this new group of friends playing around with the hand. They now have the hand. And I gotta tell y'all, I wasn't very entertained, invested. The scenes where the kids are getting possessed, nothing about it was scary. It was pretty much basically you could have pulled the hand out and put some cocaine in the scene and it would have had the same effect. It was pretty much like nothing was scary for me when they were getting possessed by the hand. Like I said, the makeup and everything looked good when we would see the actual ghost, but it was just like a party scene. Like, nothing was really giving me horror in those scenes. Nothing was really scary. Like I said, they could have pretty much just been doing drugs. Which I don't know why the hell these teenagers weren't just doing drugs like normal teenagers. Like, I don't know why they playing with ghosts, but that's neither here nor there. But we have this sequence of where at the party, the little brother Riley tags along, and this is the first time that we come to play around with the hand, because like I said, Mia is just so intrigued because the girl is disturbed and hasn't dealt with her guilt, and I'm gonna keep telling parents stop lying to your kids because dad lied, wouldn't tell the truth about her mama. So she ends up getting possessed, and you can only be possessed for 90 seconds. Again, there's no real information given for the audience. There's no real rhyme or reason. Why 90 seconds? I don't know. And I think there was a conversation where Mia asks, like, why only 90 seconds? And old girl who was with the jock guy, were they brothers and sisters or just best friends? But she gives her an answer, and honestly, I can't really remember it, so maybe they did give us an answer. But it changed. Like, we're told you can't hold a hand for more than 90 seconds. But then later on, when Riley holds the hand, it's like, okay, you can do it for 50 seconds. Why he can't just do the regular old 90 like everybody else? Like, what's shaving off 40 seconds supposed to do? Like, again, no real rhyme or reason. So then we want to continue playing with the hand again, child. So we end up going to Jay's house. This is when she has everybody over, and we have a sequence of everybody just taking turns getting possessed over and over and over again. I'm like, okay. Then for some reason, all the ghosts were like really sexual. I don't know why. And the guy that is Jay's boyfriend, who's supposed to be like Christian and a virgin, he also wants to get possessed, which makes no sense to me with who they're telling us the character is, but whatever. And when he gets possessed, he says some stuff to his girlfriend of a sexual nature, not wanting her to touch him. Then he makes out with a dog. I wasn't very entertained. I was just sitting there like, okay, child. Like, okay, child. So during this party, the younger brother Riley and his friend are at the party. And if your younger sibling see the older sibling and all they cool older friends doing something, they're going to want to join in. So Riley wants to join in. He wants to get possessed. But his sister Jade is like a hard no, not going to happen. And Mia is like, well, just let him do it. What about just doing it for 40 or 50 seconds? Again, I don't know what's the difference between doing something for 90 and doing something for 50, but whatever the hell, we just gonna go with it. So Jade is upset or whatever. She leaves the room, and Riley is upset because he feels like Mia isn't on his side, but she ends up being like, okay, you know what? 40 seconds, you could do it. So they go let the boy get possessed. The boy gets possessed, and it turns out to be Mia's mom, which obviously, it ain't really her mama. But one of the friends are like, okay, the time is up. He needs to break the connection. Mia's like, no, this is my mom. So the boy ends up possessed for longer, and he ends up, and this scene didn't make sense to me, but I'm going to give them a pass because I guess human reaction is just slow. But the little boy, while he's possessed, like slams his head down. And visually, I loved it. Like, this was the first time of anybody being possessed that I perked up in enjoyment. Because everything else, like I said, you could have just had them sniffing coke and it would have had the same effect. Like, the way they did this whole sequence at this party of everybody getting possessed, they could have just been doing drugs, child. But this is when I perked up, like, oh, okay, niggas are really getting possessed. And I kept thinking as I was watching, these ghosts ain't finna just keep letting y'all play with them. Like, something is going to happen. But the little boy bashes his head down. And for me, the second the little boy does that, nigga should have ran over there, breaking the connection, trying to stop, trying to help. He's able to bash his head down the second time. And I'm literally like, how is nobody doing nothing? You're just, and I get it, you're shocked. You know what I mean? Human reaction time is slow. And then the little boy tries to rip his eyeball out. Like, I want to say he clutches the eyeball. And he's like, finna get that out of there. And Mia goes to try to stop. She was the closest of everybody to him. And she has to yell, somebody help me. Which I don't know why she had to say that. I don't know why somebody ain't just help. So we're able to get his hand, break the connection. And I don't know why. Mia suddenly just walks out in a daze. Okay. Alright. So now the little brother's in the hospital and that nigga was effed up. Ooh, child. He looked like he got hit by a train. Not even hit by a bus. He looked like he got hit by a train. He like his face was obliterated. And if I'm the mama, I'm mad as hell. Because I want to know what the hell happened to my child. Because I'm not just buying, y'all was partying, no drugs involved. Because at first the mom thinks she's mad at Mia because Mia apparently tried drugs with one time or whatever. Thinks they gave her son something, but touchscreen come back negative. She find out her son wasn't on nothing. But I'm not just going to buy that my child just suddenly bashed their head in and try to rip their eyeball out. Like, who does that? Now, I didn't understand this. Mia ends up with the hand in her possession. Now, remember, the hand belonged to the other two folks who was having the parties, and then we went. So I don't know how the hand got in Mia's possession, but whatever, it was in her backpack. Now, Mia is upset, and the boyfriend sees her, and I keep saying Riley is the little brother. Mia in the hospital, she's like seeing the ghost of her mom. She's hearing scratching, like the mom when she was scratching at the door, when she was locked in the bedroom, and yada, yada, yada. The boyfriend of, Jade? The boyfriend of Jade ends up spending the night at Mia's house because they had some conversation in the car, y'all, that honestly I was spacing. I wasn't very engaged, so I can't tell you everything they said. But he was basically talking about how he can't go home. His parents think he at his cousin's house, and if he go home, his parents gonna know something up. So Mia is like, well, you can stay with me. So just platonically having a sleepover, they sleeping together in the bed, and Mia wakes up and she sees something in the corner of the room, which I thought this was done really well. Like I said, everything visually was done really well. But you see, you know how you have like you're in a dark room and they kind of play with shadows and you think you see something, but you're not sure. But then something moves and you're like, oh yeah, something was over there. She sees this ghost. And again, the ghosts are very sexual. I don't know what was with that. The ghost starts sucking on the young man's feet. And Mia is yelling for Daniel. I think that was his name. Yelling for Daniel to wake up. But when Daniel wakes up, it is Mia sucking on his foot. And he get freaked out. He run the hell up out of there. Like, I'm with you, bro. Like, I don't know what this girl is doing. And they had like these little awkward moments where they was like touching hands and being awkward and acting like they're attracted to each other. So then when he wake up and she doing this, baby just run up out the room. So then the friends end up getting together, like everybody, the whole clique. And this is when Mia says, has anybody been seeing anything? And this is when old boy drops the bomb. Oh yeah, that what happened to the other guy. So basically, you can kind of deduce that the ghost finds one of the group that's maybe traumatized in some way, that's just easily susceptible. It was the brother in the previous friend group, now it's Mia. But I don't buy that you can't find no other easily susceptible or traumatized teenagers in the group besides Mia. But whatever the hell, child. Or even in the last friend group with the little brother, baby, wasn't no other teenager traumatized or easily susceptible. But you can kind of deduce that that's the kind of common thread. We don't know what the situation was with the younger brother, but obviously we know that Mia is dealing with grief of her mother dying and this whole not wanting to be alone issue that she got. So she ends up in a little argument with her best friend because she goes to say, well, Daniel saw the ghost too. But Daniel was like, well, I ain't really see a ghost. I woke up and Mia was sucking on my foot. And that's when the girlfriend is like, wait, what? So we go try to track down the guy that we got the hand from. And again, when I be saying, teenagers ain't this stupid. You mean to tell me you, your brother, and your friends was playing around with this hand and getting possessed? Your brother ends up getting haunted and messed up by these ghosts outside of y'all little ritual holding a hand to the point that he stabs himself in the head, and you think a bright idea is to pass this along to other people. I was watching a movie and the first thought I had was, if y'all don't throw that head in the ocean like the Jumanji game, like throw that mug in the ocean, burn it, light it on fire, like get rid. Why in God's name would you pass this on to other people? But whatever. So we end up having Mia come to the bright idea of, did anybody blow out the candle? Maybe we need to do this all over again with Riley so we can blow the candle out. Maybe we ain't closed the door. So we get to the hospital and we have, and then I was two of the friend group just drop off midway through the movie. After we go contact the guy we got the hand from, two of the friends they just out the movie. So it's just Mia, Jade, and Daniel. And we go to the hospital, we have the hand, we put the little boy, we put his hand on the hand because you got to hold hands with it. And I'm saying, like, how the hell this gonna work? Because the person's supposed to say, talk to me. But anyway, Mia ends up, we light the candle, and Mia says, talk to him. And I'm saying, like, baby, I don't think that's how they work. Even though the movie don't really tell us how this works, so far, that ain't how it works. So they blow out the candle, nothing happened. They just sitting here like, and really all I could think was, Because when we go try to get help from the previous guy, he ends up saying the longer the ghost is here, they get weaker. So I'm kind of just like, give it time. Oh, and I forgot to say, every time the little brother wake up or have any moment of consciousness, he tries to kill himself. And that was something else that ain't really got no rhyme or reason in the movie. Which some of it, like I said, some of the ambiguity I was down for. Some of it kind of irked me. For some reason, the ghost just wanted this kid. Out of everybody, I don't know why they had their sights set on Riley. Who the hell knows? Because when Mia is first possessed, the ghost looks at him like, yo, you look tasty, or we want you, or something like that. And I don't know why they wanted this kid. The movie don't tell us. They just did. So they blow out the candle, nothing happens. And I'm just like, baby, just give it time. Like, just let the boy wake up out his coma, get conscious. But Mia is just gung-ho. And just a minute, I did not understand the character motivations for Mia. I did not really understand what was driving her. Like, why are you so, like, I get it. This your homie and then her little brother. But she was just so on 10. So, and I didn't understand why the best friend wasn't mad at me. I would never talk to you. Like, if I tell my little sister she can't do something, and when I leave the room, you let her do it, and she end up in a damn near coma, face smashed up, but this is your fault. And I was annoyed with Mia, because when they get in an argument, her and the best friend, when we all get together trying to find the boy we got this hand from, Mia got the nerve to be like, well, we all let him do it. No, the hell everybody all didn't. You let him do it. And then when we said time up, you wouldn't let him break the connection. This was all you. So it just felt like she really wasn't taking responsibility, but then she was gung-ho to help as if she felt guilty, but you can't really feel guilty if you ain't taking no responsibility, but whatever the hell. So Mia wants them to try again. They light the candle. And this time, Mia's like, well, maybe I can try to talk to Riley. So she holds the hand and she sees a ghost of a child. And she's saying, is there a little boy here? Can you see him? And instead of her saying, like, inhabit me or something, the ghost ends up, like, saying something to her. And she ends up seeing, which was a great little image they had, of Riley, like, with all the entities around him being tortured, like, kind of sucking the life out of him or something. That was really good. I loved how that looked. But then when Mia, like, gets up and they trying to help her, she like, don't touch me. Like, girl, calm down. You wanted to do this. We said don't. Like, why is you screaming at us, don't touch you? But whatever the hell. Y'all, Mia gotta be like one of my top characters that I just really don't like. Like protagonists this year. But so of course these ghosts, I remember watching the movie thinking, when she saw that little girl, I was just like, baby, we can't trust nothing from these ghosts. Like, you cannot trust nothing from them. Like, how we know that's even where the little boy at right now? Like, you don't even really have a clue. So now she got it in her head that he's in agony. Riley's being tortured. So let's jump to the end. Now, oh, and when I was talking about, I don't know why these ghosts want the little boy, after they first go to the party, the little boy's scared, and his sister won't let him sleep in her room, so he goes sleep in the living room with Mia, and we have a scene where he falls asleep watching something on his phone, and it'll sure look like a ghost hand to me, putting the phone down, rubbing his hair, rubbing their hand through his hair. Y'all, why did the ghost want this little boy? Like, why did they just have their sights set on him? I guess it don't matter. I mean, like, it matters to me, but I mean, I guess it don't matter to the people that made the film. Now, Mia goes home and her dad wants to have a conversation with her. And y'all, the movie was also confusing because it's supposed to be a group of teenagers. And I don't know if they high school teenagers or college teenagers. I don't know. Maybe the movie tells us, but I don't know. I don't know if they was high school or college teens. But Mia looked about 30. Her dad looked about 60. And then her mom looked like she was about in her mid-30s. I don't know. Now, This is when the dad, pulls out the letter, was like, I shouldn't have kept this from you. But then the ghost of the mom, who previously in the movie was talking to her and saying, I didn't hurt myself, I didn't do this, I would never leave you. So when the dad reads this letter, the ghost is telling Mia he's lying. So Mia excuses herself and goes to her room, and she's talking to her ghost mom, and the ghost mom is like, I never wrote that, that's not your father, he's gonna hurt you. Again, it just don't make sense for me. So I'm gonna listen to my ghost mother over my flesh and blood dad. Look, and I get it. It's supposed to be about her, unresolved, issues with grief and losing her mom. But come on now, child. It just ain't logical for me that I'm going to listen to the ghost mom and not my flesh and blood dad. And then the whole thing of, she had a conversation with somebody else and was like, her mom was inside Riley, but then that wasn't her mom when he hurt himself. But when y'all do this possession thing, what happens is y'all see a ghost and then y'all let that ghost inside y'all. So it couldn't have been your mama and a little boy, and it certainly wasn't your mama when he got hurt. Like, that just don't even make no sense. Y'all see one entity and then y'all let that entity in. So he had to have saw your mama and got your mama in him if that was who you was talking. Like, oh God. It just irked me, and that's why I just felt like, for me, Mia was not like a sympathetic character. She wasn't anybody I felt bad for or empathetic towards or rooted for, because she just felt willfully ignorant. She just was too stupid. Because I'm just the second the mama here like, that's not your dad. I'm just like, girl, are you still listening to this thing? So then what the entity does is has her dad banging on the door. But the audience can see her dad actually in the living room not knowing what the hell going on back there with his psychotic ass daughter who losing her mind, losing her ish, and is just bat-ish crazy. So it's banging on the door. It busts through the room and attacks her. But literally, like, it looks like her dad, but you could tell that it's not your dad. It was just sitting on the sofa with you, cut the skin, the face, everything. Like, it looked weird. But you think this really your dad? So the dad hear her in there struggling because she getting beat the hell down. And of course, and she's trying to like reach for these scissors while she's trying to fight the ghost dad. As the dad come in, and she ends up stabbing her dad in the neck. Oh God. But again, she's still just listening to the ghost mom. She stabs her dad in the neck and just leaves the house because she just got to go help Riley. Oh, Jesus. It can't just be me. It can't just be me. Maybe it is. But maybe this don't make no goddamn sense. Like, it does not make any sense. You literally just stabbed your dad in the neck. And when she, like, before this happened, there's a scene where she, like, sees her ghost mom, and the mom is saying, Riley's in trouble, Riley needs help. Next thing you know, her mom just cuddling in the bed. I thought Riley needed some damn help. How you go from Riley need help to just laying down cuddling? Well, girl, is we gonna help him or not? Like, it just... This is why I said the motivations of Mia being gung-ho to help Riley, it just wasn't... Nothing was adding up for me. The whole thing is, Riley's in agony, the ghost got him, he need help, but all the stuff she doing in the rigmarole, it just ain't making no sense. So now you stab your dad in the neck, cause what, you think that really was him that just attacked you, and you leave the house cause you just gotta go help Riley? And if the ghost said that's not your dad, then what the hell is your dad then? Like, if that's not him, where is he? It just don't make sense. It don't add up. But anyway, The ghost is telling her, the ghost mom, you got to put Riley out of his misery. Now, baby, again, if she had any ounce of brain, of common sense, none of this makes sense. How does killing him, putting him with the ghost, help get him from the ghost? Don't he need to wake up from this coma and be conscious, and that'll get him from out their spirit world? Whatever the hell. So let's just get to the end. So the ghost mom is telling Mia, you got to put him out of his misery. You got to kill Riley. So Mia calls up her best friend to get her out of Riley's hospital room so that Mia could go kill him. So the best friend comes to the house. Obviously, we know she about to discover the dad because she tries to call Mia when she gets to the house. Mia don't answer the phone. Best friend go in the house. The dad is in the house. Baby, let me tell you, the dad's sitting there cupping his neck wound. He ain't even dead. You mean to tell me you ain't called no ambulance for your dad? You just left him there to die by himself? Come on now, child. Come on now, child. And I get it. Like I said, Mia is disturbed. She got this whole issue of not wanting to be alone. Baby, she would get manic. Like she did not want to be alone. She had issues around that. She dealing with grief. But, baby, come on now, child. So anyway, Mia gets to the hospital. The mom is there. The mom apologizing, you know, because she had went off on her, but the top screen came back, wasn't no drugs. So Mia asked, can she have a moment alone with Riley? And she in the hospital. She got the same scissors. She stabbed her daddy with blood on the scissors and everything. And she pulled him up. She's screaming and stuff. And I'm like, don't nobody hear this? She asked for a moment alone with your son, but damn, where did you go? Y'all. So, oh yeah, I forgot to say, back at the house, the best friend finds the dad. She calls her mom. She's like, Mia's dangerous. Get her away from Riley. Y'all, please tell me how you can walk into a hospital, put a patient in. First of all, you got to go get a wheelchair, roll it on over to the patient's room, put the unconscious patient in the wheelchair, and then just roll them out the hospital. With nobody being nan the damn wiser. For real. For real. Jesus. Come on now, child. Come on now, child. Oh, and I forgot to say, when she goes into the room, because this is why she wrote them out. She starts to stab Riley, but she really can't do it. And there was a scene at the top of the movie where she goes to pick Riley up because the sister forgot. And they come across this kangaroo in the street. Y'all, this was the most disturbing scene in the movie for me. This was the scene that elicited the most emotional response for me, was the animal in agony dying in the middle of the road. And then Mia just running off like, oh, another car come. I ain't like that. I did not like that. Like, I get it. Like, what is she supposed to do? But you could call for some kind of, I didn't like that. You do not just leave the animal there to just suffer and just expect another car to come and what? Be a better human than you? Like, be more humane than you? Like, how you know a car ain't already come and pass by just like you just did? Or a car ain't gonna come after you and pass by just like you just did? Like, don't put the responsibility on some phantom other car that might come by. If you laying there suffering, would you want somebody to come up and say, oh, well, somebody else can come help her. Let me just keep going. I didn't like that. And I get it. Like, what was she supposed to do? Like, she starts to, like, try to run the animal over, which that ain't humane. But she stops, and Riley is like, we can't just leave it. But she just runs off. She can't do it. So, in this moment, they end up having the kangaroo, like, walk past or whatever. Which, okay, but they flash back to that. So I guess Mia's bright idea is, I can't stab him, but I could throw him in some traffic. Okay, girl. So the best friend gets to the hospital just as she sees Mia over by the highway with her brother in the wheelchair. So now, how I'm going to describe the ending is just how I interpreted it. So we get to the highway, all the traffic is passing. Mia got the little brother about to push him into traffic, and you got the dead mom there, you know, trying to push her to do it. And What I thought was weird was when Mia looked at Riley, she saw like another entity of this guy. Why are you going along with this? Like, why, if you see that entity, why do you think you need to kill Riley to help him? Whatever the hell. So the best friend is behind her, like yelling, trying to run over, whatever. Next thing we know, we see the POV of folks in the car and they crash. I'm like, girl, you could have killed other folks. But that's when we see Mia laying on the ground. And we see Jade, the best friend, over with her brother Riley at the wheelchair. And I feel like the best friend ran over and had to push Mia to get her brother and save her brother. So next thing we know, Mia gets hit by the car and she stands up. And the next thing we know, she in a hospital. And she like sees a patient in a room. She sees her dad walking through the hospital, which presumably for me, the dad survived. Because we know he was alive when the best friend got to the house. Hopefully the best friend was more decent than Mia and called the damn ambulance or got him, the dad, some help, unlike Mia. Now, as much as I didn't really enjoy this movie, I will say I do like how it ended. And not really how it fully ended, but how they ended this story. First of all, y'all know I always love something that does not end on a happy ending. So Mia's walking through the hospital. This whole sequence, lights start to go out. Next thing you know, it's just dark. And then she just sees a flicker of light. And there's a hand outstretched. And she grabs the hand. And Mia is now one of the entities that a group of friends who now have the hand is able to communicate with. I love that. Great idea. I love ending the movie like that. I love the fact that our protagonist, this isn't something where the friends stumble upon something unwittingly, but we're able to solve it and survive. Our protagonist dies. I love how they did that. Now, how the hell the hand in a whole nother country because they were speaking a different language? I don't know. And I want to know how these people got the hand, because I'd be damned if these dumbasses did they get a hand to somebody else? Like, y'all, why do we keep having tragedy from using this thing, but we keep passing it on to another group so they can have tragedy using the damn hand? Come on now, child. I didn't really care for this movie, but honestly, like, I can't say I hated it. It was terrible, very well made, visually appealing. Whoever directed it did great. The acting was top tier. I think I saw that the young lady playing Mia, this was like her first role. Very talented. Everybody, like, all of the pieces were good. And honestly, when I walked out, I couldn't even be like, oh, I hated that. That was terrible. Like, I was just kind of like, meh. And I feel like that's kind of worse for me, is when a movie just doesn't elicit any strong reaction from me. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of rather really dislike a movie or really love it. I don't like to feel meh. Like, the movie doesn't elicit anything from me. For me, I'm going to say that's worse than me not liking something. You know what I mean? A lot of times if I don't like a movie, it has rewatch value. Like, I want to see it again. Is that weird? But a movie that makes me just not feel anything, I'm very just less inclined to ever watch it again. Because I didn't get anything. I didn't get any strong. I want to get a strong reaction from something. But this was, I'm going to give Talk to Me a solid 4 out of 10. And I really feel like I'm being kind with that score. But yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, a big knock to the movie for me was the characters. Like I said, I'm that part, and I don't know, y'all, is it just me? I have to find at least one character, and it don't even have to be the main character, but I need somebody that I like, that I care about, that I gravitate to. Like, I cared about Riley, but that's easy. You're gonna always care about a kid because they're a kid. You never want to see nothing happen to a child. I mean, they're all kids, but you know what I mean, like a kid. But nobody was really likable. No, when I tell you, I would have been perfectly fine if everybody died and ended up like Mia and saw the counter was shaking somebody's damn hand playing a game. I really didn't care. I didn't care about nobody. Like I said, it was a different take, idea on the whole possession and ghost subgenre, but I wasn't very invested in the main plot. I wasn't invested in the little side story of Mia losing her mom. I just like I said, it felt like I was just kind of there. I was just along for the ride, and it wasn't pulling anything out of me. But you know, well made. Good job. It just wasn't for me. I guess I'm just not the audience for it. But you know what? I'm really not the biggest fan of A24 films, so there's that. Guys, let me know in the comments, how did you feel about Talk to Me? Did you love it? Were you scared? Were you disturbed? Or were you just completely unfazed like I was? Make sure you check out my horror movies playlist for all of my other horror movies that I have reviewed on my channel. Check out my playlist of 2023 films that I have reviewed so far. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And make sure you check out my Cobwebs review. That was one of the newest horror movies that I have seen recently. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.